Hi, this is Lisa Harris with My Creative Pursuits. Welcome to this week's Scraps and Stash Saturday, where I show you ways I'm using up my scraps and stash and hopefully inspire you to use up yours as well. We're doing things a bit differently for the month of May. Ordinarily, I pick out a kit to scrap with all month, then make as many layouts, cards, and other projects as possible to use up the kit. This month, I'm participating in the Layout a Day challenge at layoutaday.com, so I'm choosing mini kits as I go to use for each daily layout. For the first layout this week, I chose some My Mind's Eye Good Day Sunshine pattern papers, as well as other My Mind's Eye brads, stickers, and label stickers, and created Phoning It In, a layout about time spent on the telephone. I layered the notebook pattern paper, a couple of pieces of the doily and gingham pattern papers, and a strip of distressed pink all over the plaid background. Then added 2 circle stickers, 3 brads, a journal block that was the exact right color and had an old-fashioned telephone printed on it, and made the title using thickers. The journaling describes the types of telephones we had in my house growing up. For the second layout, I chose a Simple Stories This and That 6x8 paper, a My Mind's Eye Good Day Sunshine background, a couple of green and brown scraps, a journal card. Not sure who makes this, Simple Stories or Studio Calico. I'd love to find out though, as I'd like to get more like it. And finally, some green foam thickers and Pebbles Tiny Type alphabet stickers. And put together, They Call It Puppy Love. I just layered 3 blocks of the paper and the 6x8 piece onto the background, then added the journal tag, metal rim tag, a small flare button, and a wood grain chipboard heart. The journaling tells the story of how I got my first puppy. For layout number 3, I picked a My Mind's Eye background paper from the Lost and Found line and a few scraps of girls' papery papers for layering. I chose glitter thickers and Pebbles Tiny Type alphabet stickers for the title, and created this layout, I've Always Been a Dreamer. Yep, the title is totally inspired by the Eagles. I layered the scraps of paper together on the background, added a journal block, doily sticker, and metal rim tag, and rhinestone stars. If you look closely, you can see that the R's in Dreamer are actually N's that I did a little creative surgery on. I'll never understand why there aren't more E's and R's on sticker sheets. Anyway, the journaling describes a little how I've always allowed my imagination to get carried away, and I think that's a good thing. For the next layout, I chose some really funky background papers from a paper pad that I won, I'm using air quotes here, at the Great American Scrapbook Convention one year. When I first acquired this pad, I declared it at once unusable, saying I could always use the plain white backsides for stamping, but all my friends went on and on about how cute it was. Never did I ever think I'd find a use for it, but now I have. I also pulled some old Scenic Route black letter stickers for the title, and made this Best of the 70s layout. All the photos for this layout were printed from the internet, including the title blog. I added the words "for me" at the bottom. I layered a few rectangles of the bright orange and pink as well as the circle print onto the white notebook background. I clustered the photos together, then wrote the journaling in the margin that was left. The journaling tells about what my ideas of the best things were when I was a child in the 70s. Next up, the prompt was to scrap about what your sick days were like as a child. I again pulled photos from the internet and used the colors I saw in them to inspire my supply choices. I picked pattern papers from My Mind's Eye, a Miss Me notebook page, scraps from an old Bo Bunny line, and Fancy Pants alphabet stickers, and created Sick Days. Again, the design is simple, with blocks of paper stacked together, the photos clustered to one side, and the title and journaling filling in the remaining space on the notebook paper. The next prompt was themed around pop culture, so again, I reached for that excessively loud prize, air quotes again, pattern paper, as well as an Amy Tangerine background paper. Although I originally chose the Fancy Pants alphabet stickers, I wound up substituting them in the end with the same black Scenic Route stickers from the Best of the 70s layout. And the resulting layout is called Fashion Defined. I reprinted a few pictures of myself sporting various fashion staples from the 70s. I fussy cut a few of the circles from the loud pattern paper and layered them underneath the photos. In each journaling block, I wrote a snarky little definition for each of the fashions. When I was done putting it all together, it lacked cohesiveness, so I pin-stitched around the photos and journaling, and although that helped, this layout still feels unfinished to me. I do like the bright colors, though. And for this week's last layout, I picked some Lily Bee handmade pattern papers, My Mind's Eye stickers, crepe paper metal rim tags. You've seen these on several of this week's layouts. A paper doily, green and white baker's twine, and wood grain chipboard hearts and thickers. And the layout I made is called The Lake Place. The photos are from my grandparents' 50th wedding anniversary, but in this case I used them for the background scenery to show the place where I spent my first 5 years. I backed them on a strip of white cardstock, put that onto a strip of blue doily pattern paper. Behind that, the doily and quilt paper are layered. I added a couple of strips of washi tape in the upper right corner, along with the My Mind's Eye sticker. Added the metal rim tag and a few wood grain hearts, and then the title. The journaling describes how I remember the place on the lake where I grew up. So that's what I've been up to this week. What about you? Have you created any stash projects lately? If so, I'd love to see them. Please leave me a comment below or on my blog at mycreativepursuits.com. Until next week, take care.